Imagine an animal shelter that is quiet and smells clean. The dogs are peacefully lounging on beds, happily chewing away on stuffed chew toys, or sitting calmly at the front of their kennels, wagging hello as you approach. The cats are curled up in beds on elevated platforms or batting at dangling catnip toys. Volunteers are busily training dogs throughout the facility, and cat cuddlers are patiently teaching young, playful cats to play without using their claws. This is a shelter that people travel for miles to visit, lining up to adopt the friendly, well-trained residents. These are cats and dogs that will easily settle into their new, permanent homes. In this shelter, everyone who walks in walks out smarter and more aware of the needs of companion animals. This is an Open Paw Shelter. Open Paw is designed to address the unwanted animal problem through the education of people and animals. The primary goal of Open Paw is to educate pet owners about animal behavior and care. Our second goal is to turn every animal shelter into a pleasant, friendly, quiet place where members of the community can go to learn about animals and about basic training and behavior. And we want to change the way shelters are structured so that while animals are in the shelter, they learn or retain social skills, house training, and basic manners instead of losing those skills. So pets leave the shelter much better able to live successfully in a new home. We want every animal shelter to become a dog and cat university, where not only animals, but also people can learn. Open Paw's mission is to give people and their pets the tools they need to build a lasting and successful relationship with one another and with their community. Open Paw Level 1 is essential to our goal, increasing the adoptability of resident dogs. Just by standing outside of the kennel and hand-feeding pieces of kibble to the animals, you'll be able to teach resident dogs to enjoy their environment and to enjoy people approaching their kennels, teach the animals to impress the heck out of potential adopters, and establish and maintain a quiet kennel. Really, it's true. If you can do this, you have already made the dog much more comfortable being in her kennel, made her more friendly and approachable for potential adopters, and given her a much better chance of being adopted. No one wants to adopt a scary, barking dog, but who wouldn't want to adopt that cute, tail-wagging dog as she sits happily to greet them? Classical conditioning. In classical conditioning, we train the dogs to associate something they already like very much, dinner, with something we want them to like, being in their kennel and having people approach the kennel. Because lots of people will be feeding a piece of kibble to the dog as they approach the kennel, the dog will progressively form an association between people and being fed kibble. So what do you do in classical conditioning? Approach the kennel and toss or hand feed a piece of kibble to the dog, regardless of the dog's reaction. If you're a child or a man, you should give more kibble. Don't hover or pressure the dog. If the dog seems frightened, simply toss a kibble, say a kind word, and move on quickly. Go past the kennel several times in a session. Each time you walk past, you're forming a stronger, positive association. Don't encourage the dog to come forward or request any specific behavior. Just walk up to the kennel and toss a piece of kibble. Reward training. Reward training is a super powerful training technique. As a person, you have control over all the things the dog wants: the food, the toys, and your attention and petting. Why squander it? Whenever you give a dog food, attention, or playtime, you are rewarding her. Why not learn how to use that so that you reward behavior you like and don't reward behavior you don't like?
We want to learn what they know, but we also want to teach them how to use their friendly behavior repertoire to engage people. Now, this is where we start teaching them to sell themselves to the public, right?
Open Paw Level 2, Hyperactivity Management. Unfortunately, one of the fastest ways for a dog to convince a person not to adopt her is by exuberantly greeting that person. This is because a dog's happy greeting behavior looks like scary, intimidating behavior to humans, The dog jumps up, paws or mouths, and may even bark loudly. The dog is as happy and excited as she can be, but the person is thinking, no way could I live with this.
We're getting them ready for presentation as well, right, for a potential adopter. So if somebody comes in and we've done our level 1 training and you know, this dog has gotten really good at sitting politely or doing a cute little wave or just looking happy and with soulful eyes every time people go by, you know, they're gonna get attention, right? Even the bigger, older dogs and the black dogs will get attention when they're doing proactive, social, active, cute things in the kennel. So then someone will say, I'd like to see this dog, you know? And so then, okay, the volunteer or staff, I'm not sure how that works here, goes to get the dog out of the kennel, and, you know, it all falls apart. You know, we have, you know, someone trying to get in, and the dog is, you know, bashing them in the face with their tongue, and they're trying to slip out, and you're like, he's really great, really, you know, you try to get in and slam the door behind you, or the dog runs past, and now you really have, you know, havoc.
Fortunately, we can use the reward training ideas we learned in OpenPaw Level 1 to teach the dog to greet people in a socially acceptable, polite way. OpenPaw Level 3, Obedience, Etiquette, and Handling. Now we're off and running. We're going to use lure reward training, the most easy, efficient, and stress-free way to train animals. We'll also continue to use classical conditioning and reward training techniques to teach the dogs important behavior and etiquette rules, and to teach the dogs to love to be handled. In OpenPaw Level 3, you'll learn how to use lure reward training to teach the dogs basic obedience skills like sit, down, stand, and watch. Check the dogs safely for sensitive spots and desensitize the dogs to being touched in those spots. Teach the dogs to take food and toys politely and to play tug according to rules. Use play as a reward in training. And teach the dogs how to greet people politely.
Ideally, we want them to learn, and this isn't going to happen overnight, that when you are out here with them and they should engage you, this is kind of what I was talking about. We said, you know, if someone comes to adopt a dog, if you all were in here, maybe he'd engage with me more, or maybe he would still be trying to sniff and pee in range. And what you need them to do is, hey, I'm out here, I'm on. This is my, you know, in this context, I focus on the human, especially if I've got a leash on. You bring a dog out of the kennel into the meet and greet area where the person is waiting maybe, and they come in and, you know, and jump all over them. We're going to we're going to have them come and say, hello, nice to meet you. I'm looking at you. Maybe I'll sit. Oh, maybe I'll come and touch your hand. And, you know, that's all really important stuff for them.
OpenPaw Level 4, Dog Walking Techniques. OpenPaw Level 4 focuses on walking the dog outside in the real world, integrating training with really big rewards, such as exercise, ranging, which means exploring around freely, so long as the dog does not pull on the lead, and sniffing. We're not taking the dog for a walk, rather, we're teaching the dog how to walk on a loose lead. This will not only help him to impress potential adopters, but will also help both the new owners and the polite pup.
It's an important piece of the puzzle because dogs that don't walk well on leash or unmanageable on leash don't get walked. And if they don't get walked and they don't get out, the relationship with their owner starts to deteriorate, and they get a little pent-up energy as well. They end up just going out in the backyard. People are embarrassed, you know, and also afraid if their dogs, you know, are out of control on leash. And they won't take them places. You know, dogs who are well behaved on leash can might go to more cafes. They're going to go on hikes. They might go on errands. You know, they're going to go through the neighborhood.
All of this training is vital. The Open Paw Shelter Program is designed so that the very process of caring for the animals not only fulfills their needs for comfort, companionship, mental stimulation, and entertainment, it also gives them the skills they need to find and keep a new home. Every shelter should model for the community how animals should be cared for and trained. By serving as a model for the community, an Open Paw Shelter helps the animals in its care and also helps inspire great relationships between people and their pets. Visit us at openpaw.org to learn more about OpenPaw's other programs and materials.